So we're gonna be out here and we're gonna be starting a fire. We're gonna be using this axe right here. I've already taken the liberty of gathering a little bit of inner pine bark and a pine knot. We're gonna use the axe. We're also gonna use this knife right here, along with this flint striker. I can get it out here so you guys can see it. This right here. Those three tools are all we're going to need to do this right now. The first thing we need to do is we have a little bit of stuff here, but we need to go gather some more sticks and stuff like that. So I'm going to set this in a good spot right here. And then we're gonna go and get some stuff that we can use to start the fire. Okay, you guard that, okay? All right. Right here, we find ourselves in a stand of pine. And this is a dead pine tree. It's about maybe 40 feet tall or so. I can pull off this piece of bark all in one. It makes a tube, which means I'm gonna start stuffing this full of pine needles and leaves and also that bark that I had earlier. And then we're gonna go ahead and start the fire with it. As we were walking around out here in this pine forest, we found right here, we have a fallen branch of a pine tree which has dry, dead pine needles on it. We have our bark right here. And we're just gonna gather a bunch of them until we got this thing nice and full. Okay, so we've gathered a big handful of pine needles that are now stuck in our bark vessel right here. And so those are gonna provide enough heat to get small sticks burning. So we're gonna start gathering little sticks like these ones. I don't know if you can see it, but my finger's right there. You can see how small that is. This may seem a little tedious, but it's gonna be worth it because it's really gonna help your fire pick up and go right away. So I'm gonna gather a couple really large handfuls of these, stuff them in there, and then we'll add some more larger sticks, and then we'll be almost ready to start our fire. Okay, so right here, we now have a nice bed of pine needles here, and then we have a good handful of sticks on top. Lastly, if you look on the ground down here, there's a good number of these pine cones here. And these burn very brightly. Now, they're on the ground, so they're a little bit wet. So that's why we're putting them on last, but they also have sap on them. So we're gonna put them upside down so that the wet side is up and the sap is down, which means it'll catch fire and also burn really hot and bright. All right, so the next thing you have to do before you start any fire in the forest is you have to be responsible. You don't want the fire getting away and doing anything crazy. So if you want anything flammable moved away, so you have bare dirt, and once it looks about like that, you're pretty much ready to start a fire. We'll get started. All right, so we got our dog here, so he's chilling. Okay, Pooch, you got back off. So right here, we have a handful of some dead inner pine bark, okay? Really thin, really flammable. So right now, I'm going to tear this up into thin shreds, kind of shred it up so it has some small ends and bits to it. So I'm gonna stick this kind of underneath the edge here of the pine needles. So we got that, we got pine needles, we got sticks, and we got pine cones on top. Okay, and I got one other thing that's hiding here. So we got this right here. This is a pine knot. You can see this. This is how the tree would be up and down. This is a branch coming out, and this is where it goes into the tree. Now, if we go up here, this spot right here is where that came from. So I'll show you this. It fits in just about roughly like this, okay? So what I did was I took this axe, and going in like this and going in like this, I managed to break out this knot right here. Okay, this right here is full of sap, which means it's gonna burn long, it's gonna burn bright, it's gonna burn very hot. So we're gonna eventually throw that on top of our fire, just so it helps our fire go hotter and longer. So now if you look down here, we've got our fire vessel set up, we've got everything staged, we've got the bark, we've got the needles, we've got the sticks, and we've got the pine cones, and then we've got our bark vessel around it, okay? So now we're gonna pull out our tools to start the fire. First, we've got this knife, okay? Mora bushcrafting knife. It's got a sharp edge, stainless steel, and this is what we're gonna use to strike the sparks to get the fire going. And that is if the dog cooperates. So, hey, go over here? Okay, you'll fly. Then we've got our striker. This is just a basic flint striker. It comes with the knife. So what I'm going to do, I'll demonstrate right here. We use the back edge, the sharp spine, and then we run that down this, and it strikes sparks. Like that, strikes sparks, okay? Those are hot enough to start a fire. So what we have to do is we have to do that down here, direct it into that, and get our fire going. And very close. All right. And we have fire. So I'm gonna pick this up just a little bit, get those flames to go upwards and burn into it, and try not to singe my face. So that fire is immediately starting to work its way up in there. All right, just like that. I think we're doing pretty good. But just like that, you can see that that's all you need to start a fire. It doesn't take long. This took us about, probably 15 minutes the entire time with filming. So you could do it in much less. So thanks for watching, guys.